what's going on? It's Steven Kramer Glickman. We're going to talk to you about something real quick, something that I think you're going to really love. I know there's a lot of you out there that are trying these vapes that are vaping, that are a bunch of vapors, vaping it up. I'm in Los Angeles. I'm on the internet. But there is a product that you guys got to check out. It's Dry Herb Plus. It's the V2.0. This is the 2016 version. Guys, people love this, okay? Cannabis Reviews said it's the best portable 3-in-1 vape currently on the market, all right? The Nug.com said it's the most reliable and affordable vape pen on the market. I don't know if you are familiar, buddy, with the Nug.com, but people really seem to check that one out. They seem to really like that one. And here's the thing is, guys, it's $99.95 value, but today we're doing it for $79.95. Zero combustion, 3-in-1, no coil. Okay, what are we talking about here? The Dry Herb Plus V2.0 is the most anticipated vaporizer on the market. We've heard from people, and they have demanded a pure convection unibody vaporizer that can handle dry herb, oil, liquids, and wax with fixed temperatures. Okay, we're talking, and it's less than $80. What kind of craziness is that? All right, I mean, this is amazing. In addition, the Dry Herb Plus V2.0 is 8% smaller and 17% lighter than the 2014 version, and it can support inline micro USB charging. You can charge it at your computer and then just smoke away, Nano, smoke away.
No one has ever done that. No one has ever done that in the history of Dota.
That is true. No one's ever done that before. This is a huge, huge deal. How do you feel about it, supercomputer? All right. Well, the computer likes it too. All right. It's a big deal, guys. Let me tell you what the kit comes with. All right. This is awesome. The Dry Herb Plus V2.0 unibody vaporizer comes with rubberized mouthpiece with removable filter screen. Okay. Everybody wants one of those, right? Liquid wax drop-in cup, packing tool, built-in battery. How about a cleaning brush? You want one of those? Boom! Comes with it. Instructional manual, micro USB charging cable. And if that weren't enough, it comes with a 2-year warranty.
My name is Jeff.
So you gotta get one of those. All right. If you guys are listening right now, you can pick this thing up and get a 15% off coupon and free shipping if you spend more than $20. So use coupon code SKG15. That's SKG15, SKG15, and go to the website blackoutx.com. Blackoutx.com. We're talking about blackoutx.com. blackoutx.com.
Psych! That's the wrong number!
Hey guys, welcome to the Nighttime Show. This is a little pre-roll, little pre-intro, little introducciones for...
Please don't ever say that again.
I'm so sorry. I'm not good at this. This is a little intro for our dear friend's episode. This is Piotr Michael is on this episode. Piotr, best known up to this point for being on the Howard Stern Show and being a phenomenon in the impressionist world. Like this guy,
amazing talent.
The guy is insane, and he is super, super cool, and he's done like huge favors for us. He was on the Nighttime Show and live. He was amazing. But when we taped this episode, which was just a few weeks ago, Piotr had not yet been cast on his most recent and amazing, exciting thing, which we have to announce right now. So Piotr has been cast in the new, as a new cast member on the television show
Mad TV.
Mad TV. Yeah. He is one of the new cast members.
And we just wanted to talk about this ahead of time so you know why when you listen to this episode we don't bring it up. It's because it hadn't happened yet, so we weren't able to really talk about that.
Yeah, but super amazing congratulations to him and to the rest of the cast, who are they're phenomenal people. Who else is in this cast? Adam Ray,
who's done the live nighttime
who has
show.
done the live nighttime show, who's incredible.
Yeah.
Who else?
Carly Craig.
Oh, Carly Craig is fantastic.
Chelsea Davison. Jeremy Howard, Amir K, Lyric Lewis,
Wow.
Piotr.
There's so many people that we know
Michelle
in this
Ortiz.
cast.
Yeah.
This is incredible for them, and huge congrats, Piotr, for this amazing accomplishment. We're big Mad TV fans, and I can't wait to see you on the show, absolutely killing it. So, ladies and gentlemen, now
It's time for the nighttime show.
It's time for the nighttime show.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Nighttime Show. Tonight, we have our head writer, Matt Walker. We have our special guest, Piotr Michael from Howard Stern, Final Fantasy, and the upcoming video game Doom. I'm your announcer, Mike Black, and now, the man who needs more hugs than everyone in Chinatown, put your hands together for Mr. Stephen Kramer Glickman!
Well, howdy, everybody. It's me. Love you guys. So welcome to the Nighttime Show. I'm your host, Stephen Kramer Glickman. We've got a wonderful guest here today, and we should just introduce him right away. Mike, you did a terrific job. I love listening to him on Howard Stern. He does so many funny voices on that show.
Oh yeah,
His fake Arnold is legendary.
Oh my God, it's unbelievable. I was just showing Sean from Sideshow Network the George Lucas thing that you did where he watches the trailer for the first time. It's absolutely incredible. It's so damn funny. You've been in movies. You've been in video games. You're a real a legend.
Well, thank you.
I love you, ladies and gentlemen. Piotr Michael, come on, give it up for him.
Thank you very much.
Here to rock the house. How are you, sir? What's going on?
Good, man. Oh, just busy with a lot of stuff. I do pretty much voiceover full time, and it's like on call. So they start from like 9:30 till sometimes 8 at night. And if I don't book out, they'll be like, "Hey, can you sound like this guy real quick? Come on, you can book it." And chances are you don't, but you rush home and you do all that shit. But
what? Take us through like a typical day.
A typical day, I'll check my email around 8, and then I don't start working till 9:30. At 9:30, I'll see some emails, maybe some stuff from Howard Stern, because they'll send me bits that they want to work on. I have a connection straight to their studio, so if we wanted to do a bit or something, I can connect with them or pre-record like a little improvised thing at home. And then if there's no Howard Stern stuff, then I'll jump into whatever the agent starts selling me.
Okay,
sending me, sorry.
Okay, no, so keep going. So then what kind of stuff are you getting sent?
A lot of voice matches. So there are movie trailers that come out, like promos, and they can't get a certain actor to jump in at the last minute and for, SAG day rate. They're not going to pay that to a big star. So
I get that.
They get somebody to match that guy's voice.
Okay.
And obviously, they've got to find somebody quick. They've got to get these promos out. So they send out mass emails to people who are known to voice match. And then we all compete against each other to try and match the dialogue as best as possible. Because a lot of the times they'll have a scene from a movie that's really exciting, but when they put in the trailer, it's muddled or there's, cars driving, whatever. So they need it clean.
Right.
And so they bring me in. So I do a lot of that stuff.
Are there like 4 or 5 guys who like do almost all the stuff we hear? Like,
I wouldn't say 4 or 5 guys, but I would say 4 or 5 guys maybe make the most money. But there are definitely there's a big pool of guys, and also it's like you might have a guy who's really fucking good at doing Jack Nicholson, and so
he's like the go-to for that.
He'll be the go-to for that. Or my friend Josh Robert Thompson is the go-to guy for Morgan Freeman.
Right.
He's a skinny white guy, and they go to him.
So let's just keep going with the day. So you
so it's pretty random. It's whatever they email.
Do you go out and have I know you have a girlfriend. You guys live together, right?
Yeah. She works at a restaurant in Venice, so she's gone most of the day, but I've got 5 cats at home that I get to play with.
Amazing.
We've got 2 cats and we got 3 foster cats, and they run around. So
That's just as good as a girlfriend.
Yeah, a lot of pussy for sure.
Do you work on your own projects then?
Yeah. So in between emails and stuff, I'll definitely work on my own things. I'll always try and improve demos and write stuff because there is a lot of downtime, and then sometimes there won't be any. So if there's downtime, I'll just work out or whatever. But I essentially can't really leave the house because I'm like, I'm called, blah, blah, blah. But I mean, I can. It's just I could potentially miss a gig or whatever. But yeah, I didn't really start getting.
So there's a lot of stuff like they're like they need it now, and they contact you like, get me this in half an hour, like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then
so you have it set up to record it all and stuff in your place?
Oh yeah. No, I've got my own little studio
I was
at
like,
home.
can't he just take his cell phone with him? But
oh yeah.
that makes
Well, now
more
I actually
sense.
have like a mobile unit that I'll take in my car and hook it up to my cell phone, and it's like,
oh wow,
it's okay quality. It's not the best, but it's passable if they just need something, in a trailer or whatever.
Now, I won't ask you the amounts, but what's the most lucrative gig you've ever had?
Most lucrative is it's usually trailer work because they pay you to they put it in movie theaters and everything, so they give you the biggest buyout.
Oh, nice.
Oh, okay.
So like I can record. Like I once figured out, I was like, wow. I called my mom and I was like, Mom, I made it. She's like, what do you mean? Like, I made $2,000 in 2 minutes. Like, that's the amount of work that was on the page.
Jesus.
But to get that to that level
It took years.
Hundreds of auditions and all this stuff. But that's not every day.
Yeah.
Right.
And so like that pays my rent for the month, and then I'm like, okay, when's the next month check? And you could wait another 3 weeks before that comes.
So if you get one movie a month, you're set.
Oh yeah.
That's great.
When does it
But
start
it's not
to
guaranteed.
in the evening? When does it start to like cool off? Is it like 8 o'clock?
Well, a lot of
7 o'clock?
trailer houses actually do a lot of work, like the late shift. So they'll call around 6 and be like, "We need this now," and I'm like, I'm winding down. I want to have dinner, and I want to relax. And but when you see a gig
For $2,000, you're like, I'll eat spaghetti later.
right.
Right.
How do you know I eat spaghetti?
And now you'll
stain
get really
on
good
my
I've been
spaghetti-
watching you.
SpaghettiOs in the evening.
But no, it's crazy. It's not every day, and I'm super thankful to have it. But also, it's very unpredictable.
Right.
So, part of the job is just being on call, and it kind of makes you crazy, and you don't always make money like any auditioning process.
Yeah. I know. Sometimes explaining your life to people that are outside of this business is very strange. Like,
yeah, I mean, I
That's
take a
real
step
weird.
back, and I'm like, I remember when I was researching this on YouTube like 5 years ago, and hearing these stories, I'm like, man, it's so cool to work from home. I'm like, I'm in my robe all day.
Honestly, Stephen, you explaining your life to anyone in the business is still strange.
You know what? Yesterday I was talking to my attorney, my entertainment attorney, and she goes, "What are you doing right now?" I go, "I just finished a meeting with Max Sabbath," and she goes, "What's that?" And I go, "It's the McDonald's Black Sabbath cover band." And she goes, "What?" And I was like, "Yeah, they dress up as McDonald's characters, and we're trying to get them to close the show." One of the new things that we're trying with the nighttime show is instead of ending the show with a musical stand-up comedy performance, we want to end the show with a weird, like an actual musical performance by a real band, like having Mini Kiss come and close the show, or having Max Sabbath, like the McDonald's
Somebody
Black
unique
Sabbath
you
cover
don't
band.
see all the time.
or getting like the clown guy that sings all those weird French songs, or getting
the clown guy that
I don't
sings
know
French songs.
Hoobastank, to show up and do like an acoustic set.
Gerard Depardieu.
Gerard Depardieu, exactly. Hope, that's the hope. And so she was like, "What the fuck kind of weird world? It's just weird. It's strange. It's strange."
Well, I think it's really healthy to take a step back every once in a while and be like, where was I a year ago?
Right.
Where I am today. And then you get a message off of YouTube or the internet, and you get some kids saying, "Oh, I really want to be like you." I'm like, "Really?" And then I look back and I'm like, no. We've climbed, a little ladder. It's not a big one, but we're climbing, and it's great. It's a nice feeling, and super thankful. But every day, it's like you never know what's going to happen.
All right. Well, listen, we got to go, but we got to go back to explain some of these things to some of our listeners that don't understand exactly what we were talking about. So
pay attention.
Voice matching.
Yes.
When you voice match somebody, that's you're
So
doing such a solid impression that it's
well.
I mean, explain it to them,
that's
please.
the thing. So an impression is like something you leave in the sand. You put your hand or foot in the sand. It's not a foot. It's not a hand, but you can tell what was there. It's an impression. An impersonation is something you can't tell the difference. Whereas, like, someone completely dresses up like somebody on the side of the street and does the voice and the whole thing. You're like, what? Is that really the guy? So voice matching, you can get away with a lot of things where if you have the knack for matching that actor to begin with, then you're most likely a little bit easier to get the gig. But sometimes I'll do characters that I totally nail, but then when I go to voice match, I don't get it. And it's because 100% of voice matching is acting.
Mhm.
So if you can shift your tone and the way you deliver a line, you can mimic anybody. So a lot of these guys who voice match aren't necessarily impersonators or impressionists. They're just very good actors.
Mhm.
So they can mimic something that they see and they match the tone and the pace and then go and blah, 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 blah. But where it gets specific is when it's an accent. That's when you really have to have an ear for it and go into that. But doing impressions definitely help.
Do you ever have issues where, like, you have to voice match someone and, like, they had a cold or something when they recorded it, so now you have to do not only them, but them with some sort of affect on the voice?
Yeah. Sometimes I just did an audition for something. I don't even know. I shouldn't even say who it is because all this NDA stuff. But this actor had a tragedy, so he couldn't necessarily do this gig. But he was doing an accent on top of his normal voice. And his normal voice is very bizarre to begin with. So you have to, like, work backwards. Like, I have to do the impression of him, and then I have to add an accent on top of that. So that's where it's difficult, where you don't know. But a lot of times you'll get stuff where it's like, can you match this person? And it's a British guy doing an American accent. So it's like, when I speak with an American accent, I'm not making a mistake.
Yeah.
But they are. So you have to learn where they make the mistakes so it sounds genuine.
Jeez,
It's really weird.
what kind of can you talk at all about any people that you've matched?
Let's see.
Or even better, could you do one of them?
Yeah. I would love an example. That would
Okay,
be
I'm
great.
trying to think of somebody I did recently for a while. Let's see. Well, I did stuff for I did David Attenborough, who's the nature documentary.
Yeah.
And David Attenborough has a very specific way of talking and that sort of thing. If we see now, the Stephen Glickman sits across me. Wearing headphones, he stares intently into the guest's eyes. But is he thinking about something morbid? We will never know. The fascination increases.
Brilliant.
Was that for
Love
like
it.
BBC's Planet Earth or?
No, it was for a comedy thing. But
Well, like, I
when
know
when it's a comedy thing, you can get away with certain things. But a lot of times, I'll match actors that I've never even heard of.
Oh, okay.
Simply
Wow.
because there's actors in scenes.
Sure.
And they're not going to bring the guy in. And I'll be like, who's this guy?
who else do you feel like? I know that the NDA wise, like you can't say.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of somebody I did recently that was more of a notable star. So I don't want dead air. So if you guys want to talk about something, let me think.
I can tell you, Stephen wasn't thinking about something morbid. He was
thinking about cupcakes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm always thinking about.
Pudding, that sort of
Pudding,
thing. Yeah.
cupcakes. I had a big talk with my girlfriend yesterday about Entenmann's.
About how you need to stop.
No, how I think.
Was it an intervention?
Stop having Entenmann's.
Okay, I won't name the project, but I did Robert De Niro.
Ooh.
Now, Robert De Niro, everybody's been able to do since the 80s, right? Everybody and their uncle does.
Talking to me?
Are you talking to me? The thing that I've noticed is a lot of the guys, they oversell it. And I listen to like the reference because they'll patch me in with a reference, and I listen to it. And Robert De Niro will be like, "Let me tell you something. My daughter and I, we're going to the bank, and we're going to withdraw the money. And if you don't give us the money, then we're just going to go home." So, but a lot of the time it'll be like super mundane, like the way he delivers it.
Sure, yeah.
But when anybody does it in person, like, "Are you talking to me?
It's over the
you
top.
son of a bitch!
This
saw
guy,
you,
I
you
know
motherfucker!"
you.
And that's
This
the
guy.
thing, because you need exaggeration for the humor and that sort of thing. But when you voice match the guys, a lot of times you find it's just really subtle, really toned down. You know, there's energy levels and that sort of thing, but rarely do they sound how you imagine them in a cartoon.
Right.
I think the only exception would be Christopher Walken, but
Can you give us a little Christopher Walken?
well, so the Christopher Walken everybody does is, "Hi, it's me, Christopher Walken. I'm going crazy." But he's, you know, the real thing is he's an older gentleman now, and he's very subtle, and he's a very serious actor as well. But sometimes he does say things that's a little weird. You know, he does do what people imagine him to do. But, you know, the main thing that I've learned doing impersonations is you really got to watch the resources of the mundane. Interviews, boring stuff that you wouldn't want to sit through anyway, but God, gold hidden in between those words. You know, when he has like an interview on NPR or something weird, it's crazy.
I love it. Oh, God.
I wish you guys could see his face while he was doing that.
Wow.
Because it's spot on with his expressions, too.
God,
you know?
I know.
Well,
I just saw Jungle Book and the way they captured his face.
Yeah.
Like the same mannerisms and everything.
Yeah.
You know?
Who was he in Jungle Book?
He plays
King Louis.
King Louis, yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It was great.
It's
really
me,
good.
Mowgli. King Louis, jump over here, have a banana, dear boy.
Yeah.
Get closer to me. I want to feel your naked body.
Oh, my God.
No,
Scenes
man
cut
cub.
from The Jungle Book.
Give me the secret to fire in your pants.
Wow. Wow.
King Louis is Dennis Hastert.
Come over here
Oh,
and play my
God.
saxophone. I'm talking about my instrument. Whoa.
Oh, my God. That's
But yeah, and
terrifying.
He sounds almost like
Disney's fleet of lawyers just woke up.
the old man
What
on
the
Futurama.
heck?
Oh, you're talking about Professor Farnsworth.
Yeah, he's got that
Good
same-
news, everyone. I kind of sound like Christopher Walken. It's crazy. The problem is, when you're doing a lot of impersonations, I can't remember all the ones that I do. And then, you know, I'll be surprised. Or if you don't go back to the reference, you'll be fucked up. Like
Do
a
you get trapped in impressions?
Yeah, sometimes. Like I was doing a show called Impress Me.
Sure.
And,
Great show. Ross.
Great show. Melissa Villasenor was on it, and she was there. A lot of great impersonators and impressionists. And what happens is, like, off camera, we're all just fucking around doing impressions, and I was doing Jeff Goldblum all day long. And then in the show, I play a fictionalized version of myself, so that when we're like, okay, rolling, action, and I start the scene, I'm like, yeah, very nice to be here. My name is Piotr. Oh, no, hold on. Talking too fast. Gotta slow down. Oh, still can't get rid of it. Goldblum in the house. Yeah. And a lot of times also with the work I do scratch, which is temporary voice recordings, so that eventually they will use the actual actor, but to edit a piece, they'll have me come in. So, like I did some stuff for Independence Day, and I did Jeff Goldblum. But what's crazy is that I do the scratch. Of course, I'm not featured in the movie or the trailer or whatever, but Jeff Goldblum had to reference my own performance.
Oh, that's
so he'd get the timing. So he heard me. And then when I saw clips of the trailer, I'm like, I recognized all the lines I did. I was like, oh, he did it much better.
That's why he makes the big bucks.
That's why he's Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah, I was doing a little cartoonier, but it was fun.
Now, Stephen,
That's
you've done
fascinating.
Scratch, and we can't talk about that right now.
Yeah, we can't talk about that,
There's-
but that's all right.
Yeah.
Scratch is great.
Oh, yeah.
a lot of
Well, a
fun.
lot of guys will do scratch, and sometimes they actually end up in the film because they just do a better job of it, you know?
Well, hey,
Yeah.
you know. We just winked at each other.
Yeah.
About secrets.
It got real sexy in here. For
All
a
right.
second.
Now you are on the Howard Stern. You're on the Howard Stern show a
Yes.
lot. Who do you do on Stern?
Okay, so...
Let's go through the list. Who are
So
you doing on
initially,
Stern?
when I first got on the Howard Stern show, they found me online, and they said, "Oh, why don't you try some stuff?" And so they had me do some like Casey Kasem, because he passed away. So it was like Casey Kasem calling from heaven. It's like, "This is Casey Kasem, and boy, is it hot up here." And then Howard like, "I don't think you're in heaven," you know, whatever. But it wasn't. I mean, it was like okay, but it was very infrequent. It was like once every 3 weeks they'd ask me to do something, and then they sent me an email and they said, "Hey, can you do Schwarzenegger?" And I was like, "Fuck, everybody does Schwarzenegger. I've avoided doing Schwarzenegger, like purposely, like also like avoiding doing De Niro.
It's kind of like airplane food for a comic,
right?
Where it's like,
I'm just like, and then I'm like, okay, I'll send them an audition, but I'm going to do the most realistic I can do. So I never even studied Schwarzenegger. I'm like, I just got to do this. So I was recording it. Then, I sent the thing, like, listen, Howard, this is Arnold, former governor of California, but it's all right if you call me the governor. Now, listen to me. All of these people that are talking about these women, they're running for president, is bullshit. Because when the women get pregnant or they have the menstrual cycle, you can't have them running the country. No, it's bullshit. So,
as a huge Schwarzenegger fan, thrilled.
Well, fantastic. Let me tell you, Mike, you look like you're lifting a lot of weights.
Against my will.
Yes, absolutely. But so that was like more of the subtle one. And then they said, no, can you amp it up a little bit? And so I amped it up, and they have more of a cartoony Arnold on it now. It's like, hi, Howard, I can't believe it. I'm here. I'm having so much fun at Coachella. And so that's like, it's fun, but it's not the Arnold.
Did you do the legendary call where he wanted to blow up the moon? Was that you?
No,
That was Josh
no.
Robert Thompson.
That was Josh Robert Thompson, who does, I think, the best.
And when he convinced George Takei.
Yeah, that was
also Josh.
Josh
Okay.
Robert Thompson. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't get on until 2014.
Okay.
In the later part of the year, they started having me go. And then from then I did Brian Williams.
Mm-hmm.
So I would call in and I would say, Howard, I've got to apologize for the scandal that I did and the fact that my beautiful daughter had her ass eaten on girls. Had I known she would have gone for the part, I would have prepared with her. So like just dirty, crazy stuff like that.
Shit.
And then from there, they're like, okay, let's send him more. Let's send him more. And then they say, can you do this voice? Can you do that voice? And so it kind of grew. And so now I do Bernie Sanders.
What's Bernie like?
So Bernie Sanders is very much a guttural sound, and he's got his lower lip down, of course, and he's from Brooklyn. Now, he's also an older man, so, kind of loses his train of thought and he mumbles. But the Bernie Sanders on the Howard Stern show that they prefer is the loud, screaming Bernie Sanders. Howard, I have to tell you about the 1% of 2% of 3% of the brain matter that I still have left in my head floating around, and I think we could use that to create a delicious smoothie. What do you think?
I'm trying to think. Oh, I did. So what happened was I was doing a lot of bits for Howard Stern from here, and then my manager said, "Oh, he really wants to be on the show. Can we get him out there? Is there any way he can get on the show?" So they actually flew me out there, and I sat down with Richard and Sal, who are the classic producers over there, and so we just went and we just did whatever list of impressions I had. Just went down the list and kept seeing what would hit with Howard. And so what hit was Charlie Sheen, but he wasn't relevant.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was before his HIV came out. So it was, he was out of the news for like a year and a half. But we brought him in and it was the most random thing in the world. A lot of people remember this if they're fans of the show. Charlie Sheen just called into the show and goes, "Hey, Howard, I'm here and I've got a fucking tank. Oh, man, fucking fuck the world." And they, Richard and Sal were playing sound effects in the back of like explosions and everything. It sounded so realistic. And then Howard would be like, "Okay," and we would hang up the phone like halfway between a sentence, so it'd sound like I was just fucking nuts. And like, "Yeah, I can't wait," and, hang up. And then Howard would like just completely disregard what happened and continue on with his conversation. So he found the bit in it where I would just call and say something random and then be like, "All right, so anyway, in the news," and like, "Fucking yeah. And beach balls are very, and Beth and I, and so it was like really fun. And then after the show, I'm sitting in the producer's office. And I wasn't with Howard in his main little studio. I'm in the producer's studio because that's traditionally reserved for just guests or if it's someone featured. And so he actually walked down the hallway into the back and said, hey, are you the guy? I'm like, yeah. He's like, you did the impression. You do Arnold Schwarzenegger, right? I'm like, yeah. And he's like, it's fucking great, man. I'm like, oh, thank you so much. Then he leaves, and then all the producers huddle around me, and they go, he never comes back here.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, is that a good
He's
thing?
always been known for really loving impressions. Like, that's been a thing for 30 years, that he's always been just blown away by people who can do voices like that.
Yeah. And so I'm super honored, and after that, they just decided to fly me out pretty much every other month, and we just fucking have at it, and they keep piling on new impressions for me to do. If someone's relevant, they'll say, can you do this guy? Sometimes I can't, just because of the nature of my voice, whatever. But there's at least 2 or 3 other guys that they put on the show that are fantastic.
That's amazing.
There's a guy who does
they use
Obama
you-
that really does good
They
job.
use the guy who does Letterman, who's
yeah,
a nut.
He's the evil Letterman.
Yeah, Evil Dave.
Yeah.
They use Rachel Butera all the time.
Yes, Rachel
for a lot of
Butera
stuff.
is great.
Yeah, they don't have many female. They have Rosemary Watson who does Hillary Clinton.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I know Melissa Villasenor got on there
She's
too.
done some
She
stuff.
did.
Wow.
She did Hillary Clinton as well. But no, it's a fantastic, crazy show, and I recently did Donald Trump on the show, which was
Oh,
cool.
wow. What's your Donald sound like?
So now I'm going to Bernie Sanders.
That's the problem we were just talking about. Is you slip in, you got to switch into it, and it really sucks when I do auditions because I have to do like 15 impressions in 5 minutes. I'm like, what the fuck? They all sound the same, so you have to find contrasting guys. Okay,
All right, let me tell you something. You guys, you look like a great trio of handsome guys. Really great guys. I bet you get a lot of tail. A lot of tail. I'm not lying when I tell you this. Your girlfriends must be 10s. I know 10s. I can see it in your eyes. You want to get rid of this podcast as soon as possible so you can return to your beautiful ladies. And trust me, I know beautiful ladies. Melania, whatever her name is, she's great. She's absolutely. I love her. I don't need to know her name. I just need to know her face and where it is.
It's amazing. You know what? Let's keep that impression. Let's throw it in to we got a little fun thing.
wait a minute, what's going on?
We got a little fun game we want to play. What's the name of this TV show we're taking from?
American Crime Story.
American Crime Story.
Big hit.
Yeah, this is we're gonna do a little bit. You ready for this? All right, this is a little bit called Impression Time. Impression time.
Voices,
Impression time.
people,
Impression time.
celebrities.
He's gonna do a bunch of impressions.
You change the name of this every single time we do it, by the way.
You know what?
This one's my favorite. Impressions.
Impression time.
Impression time. Yeah.
Should we go with something better than
I
that?
remember the first time we did it, it was like recasting something. The word recasting was in it.
Recasting time.
This
Yeah.
is like
Recasting television shows.
This
What
is
if
like
this
calling
guy
a bit-
was this guy in the show? I love those long titles. That's
Just
what you need.
embarrassing.
And then
No,
it
this is perfect. Impression time.
Impression
it's
time.
like
Impression
Hand
time.
clean peaches. It just tells you what's in there.
It's time for impression time. We're gonna do from American Crime Story,
The O.J. Simpson
the
story.
O.J. Simpson story. We're gonna recast some of these
And
roles.
many of these things were actually said by real people
These
in the
are
real world.
things that were said by real people. AC
Al Cowlings.
Al Cowlings, right? We're replacing him with Steve Buscemi. All right. So just take that as a note. Instead of O.J. Simpson, we're gonna have him played by Ray Romano.
Oh,
Okay.
boy.
All right, I know you can do this. And the
getting paid for this,
911
right?
operator. Let's switch it up a little bit. Let's do Michael Caine. Is that
Michael
okay?
Caine.
You do
Oh,
Michael
yeah.
Caine there. All right.
Okay. All right.
All right, here we go. Let's do this. And here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, impression time. Let's applaud. And impression time.
What do you want me to do?
I don't know. I should die.
No, put down the gun, Juice. You're scaring me.
Drive me back to the cemetery.
No, man, we already tried that.
Why is this happening to me? Ah!
I don't understand. I had such a beautiful family. Come on, Nicole, Sydney, Justin.
You've still got the kids, all right? Think of the kids.
Just take me home. I want to see Mama.
I'll try, but damn, we got half the cops in California in pursuit. I don't know if they're gonna let us.
This is 911. What is your emergency?
This is AC. I have OJ in the car.
Who is this?
You know who I am, goddammit. AC. You tell those police to just back off. He's alive. He's got a gun to his head.
Now, hold on a moment. Where are you? Is everyone else okay?
What? No, what kind of stupid-ass question is that? Everything is terrible. Just clear the friggin' freeway. We're driving to Brentwood.
Yes!
Yeah.
That's something we like to call impression time!
Impression time! We did a bunch of impressions. It was really good. We really appreciate all the impressions. We enjoy the things that it's doing. Impression time!
I'd like to point out that people actually do remember when that happened, Stephen.
I know.
Even though you told me nobody remembers.
No, that was really great. No, that was fantastic. You did an amazing job. Let's talk about some of your other impressions that you're doing, that you're working on. I've never heard you do Will Ferrell. I'm a huge Will Ferrell fan.
Okay, so Will Ferrell, I sort of do a better one of him yelling, but so it started me learning to do his yelling one. But he was like, Hey guys, Will Ferrell here. Oh man, excited to be here at the Improv. I fucking hate the Improv. The Improv ruined my life.
And he always sounds
that's
like out of
basically-
breath.
Yeah. Oh, hey, this is great. I'm an elf. I am an elf. I love being an elf. I made millions of fucking dollars. Really, seriously, I did.
God, that's
So
fantastic.
that's
I love
my-
that one.
But that one's a very cartoony one.
I like that one. How about Leonard Nimoy? Matt Walker, huge Star Trek fan. You got a little Leonard Nimoy for us?
Yes, of course. Now, Matt, you do know that I'm reaching to you now from the great beyond. And I have great news. The great beyond is within your reach. You should change your diet, and you'll probably live a little longer. You'll live long and prosper. This is Leonard Nimoy from the great beyond.
To USA, peace and long life.
How about Morgan? Can you do Morgan Freeman talking about how incredible Fireball whiskey is?
Well, let me see. Fireball whiskey. Yes, I remember Fireball whiskey. That's the crazy shit that tastes like cinnamon gum. You know that crazy Trident cinnamon gum that we'd always get stuck under the car seat or the bus, whatever the fuck. When you get hungry and you chew on that shit, burns your tongue. Well, some asshole decided, hey, there's some fucking idiots out there who might enjoy some cinnamon in their drink, so fuck them. Let's see how far we can push this shit. The first time I had myself a fucking Fireball, let me tell you, it didn't taste like a Fireball. It tasted like a rotten cinnamon gun drink. Fucking bullshit. Let me tell you, I am not happy, and neither is Andy Dufresne.
Can you do? I'm sorry, just for fun. Can you do Charlie Sheen talking about how much he loves Fireball whiskey?
Dude, fucking Fireball whiskey. Yeah, dude. You're winning when you drink that shit. You know what's better than Fireball whiskey? More Fireball whiskey. Fuck, I got Fireball whiskey in my veins, dude. I used to have tiger blood. Now I just sip on Fireball whiskey. Oh, pow. So good. I don't know what Morgan's talking about. He probably, he's probably got a weak stomach. Not like me. I'm a fucking winner. Yeah. Winner, Fireball dinner.
Greatest ever. Okay, what about can you do a little John Malkovich for us?
Well, John Malkovich is me. Absolutely the best drink you can have is a Fireball. I have to say that it really soothes and coats the throat, and you can drink it straight as a shot, or you can drink it
with a mixer, but I like to chug the entire bottle so that I become one with the fireball.
That's absolutely terrifying. Will you do Harrison Ford for us?
Oh, man. I don't know, you guys. This is about as excited as I'm going to get. Fireball whiskey, huh? You think I can use it as an enema? Maybe that'll wake me up.
It's probably what Kylo Ren was drinking when he shot you.
Oh, fuck that guy. It was in my contract 30 years ago that I would die, and fucking George kept me alive.
I love your George Lucas. Will you just do a little George Lucas for us, just so we can?
Everybody was, big fan of Han Solo, and I thought, hey, Harrison, you're a star. We got to keep you alive, and he wasn't having it. So we actually had a stand-in, and we put some prosthetics, pretty good special effects at the time. But Return of the Jedi, there's a deleted scene where we kill Han Solo, but of course, fuck Harrison.
Can you do I know you're working on Spielberg. Can we get a little Spielberg?
Let me get into a little bit. Children. I'm doing too much Leonard Nimoy. Right. Okay. Children is right. Steven Spielberg is a little bit like this. He's got almost like a bilateral lisp. Is very interesting, and all of his movies either are about children or Auschwitz. And I'm so excited because my movie coming out this summer is the BFG, the Big Friendly Giant. But when I read the script, I was shocked to find it had nothing to do with the Jews or the Holocaust. But I made it just the same.
Now, are you learning that for Stern?
No.
Really?
That's just for fun.
When they find out, they're going to have a field day.
Well, the thing is, like some people will know who Spielberg is. Spielberg. Spielberg.
Oh, look at that. That turned into Mel Blanc. Spielberg. I love that guy. He's great.
Best Mel Brooks ever.
Yeah.
Wow. What it is.
It's weird because some people will respond to that if they know what he sounds like. But he's an odd duck. So the context has to be funny in order for it to work.
Yeah, I mean, like someone like Bryan Cranston, everybody knows Bryan Cranston because of Breaking Bad. You can pull out a Bryan Cranston, do Bryan Cranston doing almost anything.
Right.
Like you do Bryan. Right?
Jesse, I have to tell you, I am not happy with your performance. Yesterday, you made blue meth that just didn't work. Jesse, what is my name? Because I honestly forgot.
Yo, dude, it's like, your name is Mr. Sparkles.
I don't recall my name being Mr. Sparkles. Jesse, are you lying to me?
Yo, dude, I wouldn't lie to you. I mean, come on. Your name is Mr. Sparkles. Don't you remember that?
I'll take your word for it, Jesse. But if you lie to me, I will disown you.
You don't even own me, so fuck off.
It's one of my favorite impressions that you do, and I'm like, it has stuck with me forever. And like, I would love it if you would do it and like tell people that they should subscribe to the show. I know that's kind of a lot to ask, but would you do that for us?
This show. Right? Wait, what is it called again?
The show's called The Nighttime Show. The Nighttime Show podcast. Yeah. Will you tell as my favorite Sir Ian McKellen?
Yes, of course. Dear friends, it is vitally important that you subscribe to The Nighttime Show with your host, Stephen Kramer Glickman. It is vitally important. Do what must be done.
Now, how often do you ever get called on to just sort of do something on the spot? Like, do people be like, hey, can you do this? And you're like, I don't know, and you just try it?
Well, that's what I do every day with the auditions.
All right, then can I ask you something? Can you do Stephen Kramer Glickman?
I don't think so. I
Say something, Stephen.
Oh, hey guys, how's it going? It's me.
It's kind of nasally. Oh, hey guys, how's it going? It's me.
It's not bad. Yeah,
it's pretty damn close.
Yeah, it's nasally, but
we almost don't need you anymore. That's what I'm trying to do.
Goodbye, Stephen. But the hardest thing is when you get a guy who's very plain, like he doesn't have a regional accent or a character to his voice.
A generic white person.
Right.
So like Matt Walker.
I'm somewhat a high pitched voice, right?
No,
So,
you're almost like close to Steve Buscemi almost.
a little. I get that.
Yeah.
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 You do you do guys like Jeff Bridges. I don't know anybody that does Jeff Bridges.
Well, man, because nobody smokes enough pot to do it, man. I mean, really, the only reason nobody does it is because when they attempt to do it, they pass out. See, the secret is have a few, like an edible or something, and then walk around the house and put some marbles in your mouth, and that's how you talk, man.
No, that one came randomly. I don't even know how I did Jeff Bridges, but that's how sometimes impressions they'll just like suddenly come, or I'd be like, oh, I could never do that impression, and then suddenly I wake up and it just clicks for some reason, like my brain synapses just rewire, and I wake up, I'm like, I can do it. What the fuck?
Do you remember the first impression that you did when you were a kid or when you were growing up?
Oh, no, I don't know the first impression. I remember the first couple ones that I would do. For sure it was Ian McKellen, because I was watching Lord of the Rings. Oh, no, I'm sorry, it wasn't Ian McKellen. It was Emperor Palpatine, and it was Christopher Lloyd from Back to the Future.
Sure.
So, you've watched Star Wars. My young Anakin.
And my favorite was when he wasn't the evil emperor yet.
He was just the regular, weird British guy. Like, oh, Anakin, let me tell you about the dark side. It's great.
So he was one of the first ones. But I would watch Back to the Future constantly. And I was like, God, I wish I could sound like an old guy like that. And then I was 13 years old, and I just went,
Great Scott, Marty! We got to find a way to get back to that time machine, back to the year 1955.
Doc, what's in 1955?
Your parents, they're idiots. We got to get them to fuck.
Doc, if we get him to fuck, wouldn't I not be here?
Marty, it's a movie. Fuck it.
I just like.
I wish the movie had done that. They just
like the space-time continuum fucks up. But what I was going to say is one impression leads to another. So Christopher Lloyd and Emperor Palpatine were the first guys. So Christopher Lloyd, I'm like playing around with him so much. Then Lord of the Rings came out, and
Great Scott, Marty, I gotta go. Let's go to Mordor. And suddenly we add a British accent and turn it down a little bit, and you've got Ian McKellen.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, in the beginning, it sounded more like Christopher Lloyd.
But over time, I get more subtle and stuff. But those little bridges enter, and I can access some voice, and I just have to work on it. Like Steve Buscemi came from me doing Austin Powers, which is an obnoxious impression everybody did.
Like, yeah, baby. Ooh, really, really shaggy carpet. You should probably trim it, baby. Yes. Oh, I stubbed my toe.
So I would do Austin Powers, but he was so fun to do when you're by yourself because he's fucking nuts.
Oh, yeah.
And then, so I would do him in the shower just because the acoustics sounded nice. And I'm like, what would he sound like without a British accent? Because I'm like, I want to try and sound like Mike Myers because I was trying to do Shrek. And like,
yeah, donkey, come over here. Yeah, I'll get in my belly.
it's like, that's just fat bastard.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, if I do Mike Myers, if I can get, I was like, I want to learn how to do Mike Myers. And I was toning down the voice of Austin Powers. I'm like,
Yeah, baby, very shagadelic, baby. Yeah, grr, very grr. This is an American version of Austin Powers.
I'm like, that kind of sounded like Steve Buscemi for a second.
yeah.
What do I need to do to improve that? I'm like,
Well, he's got more of a pronounced teeth, so he's got some teeth, and he's got a little bit more higher pitch. So, yeah, baby, grr, very grr, yeah, and that's Steve Buscemi right there. Ooh, baby, yeah, I'm very shagadelic. Hey, you know what would be cool? If you and me get to a pad and we can, shag. You're not funny, baby. It just doesn't work.
So, like, as a kid,
man.
you didn't really develop this until you were in your teens?
I think I didn't focus on it until I was in my
Because
teens.
we had Craig Gass on the show.
Yeah.
And he talked about the reason that he can do voices is because
His
he was
parents-
raised by deaf
Yeah, yeah,
parents
yeah.
and he
And-
watched TV,
yeah,
and that's
yeah.
how he learned to talk.
Like when I was a kid, the first two impressions I ever learned were my dad used to do a shitty impression of Kermit the Frog.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I heard him do it, and so then I'd watch Muppet Show, and then I'd be like, hi, how are you? It's me, Kermit the Frog here. And then I was like, oh, no, I can...
Hey, are you making fun of me, you
Hey.
asshole?
Oh, I'm very sorry about that.
See, Steven didn't have deaf parents. He had parents who wished they were deaf.
Right, right. So, but then because I played the piano, I
Yeah.
was like, I learned Rainbow Connection. So then I'd play Rainbow Connection and I'd sing, why are there so many? And I like try to figure out the the keys and the shit. And then the other one was I tried to learn Jean-Luc Picard to learn Patrick Stewart on just because that was such a great, cool voice, and it was on TV all the time, and you could just sit there and watch it and try to learn him.
So, Earl Grey tea, hot.
He was so great.
I watched 2 episodes of that today.
Did you really?
Yeah.
I love that
Star
show.
Trek nerd.
He really is. Look, we gotta wrap up.
Oh my
but,
God! Well, what else do you want before you cry yourself to sleep?
Is there anybody else that you're working on that you'd like to do for us? I mean, we got so many.
Who's the most
wonderful...
obscure one that you do?
Oh, that's a good question.
Yeah.
Well, for a while it was Steve Buscemi. Like I'd go into clubs and people were like, "What the? I know that guy, but not really." I'm trying to think now. I've kind of shied away from doing obscure ones, but one that I loved doing all the time was Vincent Price.
Mm-hmm.
He's not really obscure. Yeah. He's just out of
his
relevancy.
Yeah.
You know?
But of course, Vincent Price is a very eloquent sounding voice. He may be gay, and it was actually revealed that he was bisexual, so he had a certain way of approaching things, that's for sure. Darkness falls across the land. The midnight hour is close at hand. And while we sit at this table and shrug, we grab some fireball and chug. Chug, chug, chug.
Oh God, you're the greatest.
Yeah, can you do Hitchcock?
I did Alfred Hitchcock.
Because Steven does body double for Hitchcock.
Oh God! I just got asked. I just got asked to do Hitchcock like a week ago.
Really?
And I tried. No. I got asked to do Orson Welles.
Oh, that's right. Orson Welles. You told me about that. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was very. I sent over the version that I basically just did my impression of James Adomian doing it because I guess they couldn't get James to do it, and so I tried my best to like send that version over.
Well, like Alfred Hitchcock has so many layers. That's a voice I can't jump into. I have to take maybe 5 minutes just to get into it.
Wow.
Sure, that's a big one.
Yeah.
Well, listen. Tell people where they can find you.
Well, you can find everything connected to me through themixednut.com. TheMixedNut.com, mixednut.com. That has connections to everywhere, my YouTube, my Twitter, all that stuff. So just make it easy, go there. But if you want to search for me, you can spell my name Piotr, pronounced Piotr. And Piotr Michael is my name. And yeah, bing it.
You got to check out his YouTube videos because they're absolutely phenomenal.
Let me tell you, they're great. They're a really tremendous amount of work. The guy sits naked in his studio, records these in about an hour, and then he pretends that he worked really hard. Trust me, this guy is not working hard. He's a loser. He's a loser.
Mike, where can people find you?
At Mike Black Attack on all social media.
Yeah, Mike Black, bringing the heat.
Mike Black Attack.
Shut up. What about you?
Just go to
Meat
funnymac.com and you can find links to everything there.
Oh, yeah. And, of course, the Nighttime Show is a monthly show here at the Hollywood Improv. Piotr, we would love you to come and do the live show sometime and come screw around with
come back
us.
and do it again. Yeah,
absolutely. You were actually on the
first show.
Yeah, you were on the first Nighttime Show we ever did when we were back at the
first one of this
at the Lyric
That was
Theater.
super fun.
Yeah, and now we're here. We're Saturday night, 10 p.m. show once a month, and it is a killer show. Super, super fun. And it would be wonderful to have you. So hopefully,
anytime,
you can come out.
Except
and,
next month and the month after that.
No problem. Check out the show on iTunes. Don't forget to subscribe and leave comments and leave reviews. Love you guys. I'm at Stephen Glickman, STEPHEN Glickman on all social media. Love you all. Our house band, of course, as always, Ex Mortis. Peace out.